Okay, so I'm so happy to be here. So friendly face. So I'm Andrea Guzzo. I'm the AI technical leader of MDPI. MDPI is a digital publisher. We are publishing papers. And also I am one of the organizer of Python Biella group, a group of people that are talking about Python, technologies, a lot of things. Also, sometimes I'm a nerd. And so today, what's our goal? The goal of today is to speak about a little bit how to create an AI product that works, okay? Especially in NLP. In MDPI, we have a lot of text data. And I'll just give you some general ideas. I don't want to be like a Greg Sugo and throwing you things, so much things. And the most important thing is that we want to, I want to prove that it's possible to create something that works at reasonable scale, okay? And we'll see what is reasonable scale. And of course, you can do it also. So the idea here is also to give you also some repositories, some GitHub tools and stuff like that we have created also in the Python Biella group, so you can do also by yourself in your company. Okay, what is a reasonable scale? Thank Jacopo Tagliabue for this kind of things. So a reasonable scale company is a company that it's here in the between, I use the mouse, okay, from late adopters and early adopters. So it's a company that it's not like, okay, it's not like Google, okay, OpenAI or something like that, but it's also not like a small company, but also can be a startup, okay? If you think about like a company scale and ML proficiency, reasonable scale company, it's something that probably it's coming later to the market, okay? But also it's an early adopter, so it's a startup, okay? It's something in between. And for sure, this is the criteria of the company. You have probably computational limit, limit budget for computation, short, small team size. You have millions maybe revenues, not billions, limited data sets. And also, you are not using data science and AI as a main tool and product. And I would say it's the 95% of the company in the world probably right now. Okay, so in this scale, okay, how can we build something? Or how can we build something related to data and AI, okay? This is a question probably that everyone in this field are talking about in AI. And we know that we are data people, and we need to create something that have a value. It's a product, okay, not a research. And the answer is now we don't need a bigger boat. Okay, we have a lot of tools, a lot of models, a lot of framework, mainly open source, I would say, that can help us to develop something that worth. Okay, there are a couple of points that I want to point out coming from Jacopo Tagliabue. I'm not super fan of some of them, but for sure, in this kind of scenario, data is king, and we know that, no? We need to be obsessed with the data quality because it's the greatest payoff everywhere, always. And pass is better than yes. I'm not fully agree with this. But also, this is really important, the corollary, less is more and KISS. So we don't write code that other people have already written. Also here we can argue about this. And also the most important thing is we need to be agile. We are in the world where we have like intelligent data archivation, modern laptops, easy access to the resources. We don't need the OpenAI data center to run like a big model, okay? And this is super fun. Distributed computing, especially Spark, is the root of the evil. But it's my point of view. Okay, let's review some trends also on the market, and then we will go in the detail about speaking about the architecture a little bit. So the first trend in the market, this is my opinion, and now machine learning models, I think, are somehow commodities, especially in specific fields like computer vision and NLP. What I mean with commodities means that you have a lot of deep neural networks that you can use with transfer learning and fine-tuning to create like models for your company and for your business. And I think that data pipeline are always the real competitive advantage, but of course are less cool. If you speak about, oh, I'm a data engineer, you're less cool than a data scientist, for sure. The general trend too, it's that beyond some tech giants, okay, the 95% probably of the company, of the tools, okay, you can use like off-the-shelf and mainly open source solution. So you don't need to purchase like huge license that cost a lot of money and a lot of databases right now. And when we speak about machine learning in general and data science, it's really fun that the machine learning code, the core of what we are speaking today, it's also only this kind of block, no? This small piece of block in all the code infrastructure that it's around, like data pipeline, machine learning management, serving infrastructure, backend and front-end, pipelines and validation. Sometimes we forget about this, okay? But this is how the things are working, basically, under the hood. Okay, some informations to don't forget, never, is that every company is unique in the world because have unique data and unique people, okay? The two concepts that are really important, and I really want to suggest you these two books. One is the same book, but one is Italian, one is in English, okay? Data Culture by Alberto Danese and Stefano Gatti. They're speaking about these kind of things. It really suggests it's really good. And also three concepts that I think are really important to have always in mind is that the information extracted, it's worth more than the data and the raw data, okay? Knowledge, it's worth more than the information. And of course, the wisdom, if we are able to do it, extractor is invaluable, okay? I'm a nerd, as you said, so I really like Dune. So if you control the spice, the data, you control the universe, by the way. Okay, I will make some example. I just want to show you what we have built in MDPI, just to give you a big context, and then we go into the pieces and in the detail of the architecture, and I will try to explain a little bit. Let's see if it's working. Okay, so this is basically our portal, the AI portal that we have to test the models and and all the tools that we have created before going in production. For us, going in production means giving to the users and to other tools APIs to be used somewhere. So as you can see here, there is like a collection of tools and products. And I don't know, if I open something like, I don't know, journal overlapping, if it's working, it's Streamlit, by the way, okay? So everything there, it's Python, except for the login system that is Keycloak, but I will show you. So as I said, I want to prove today with this architecture that it's possible to create something. We have like 50K users per month, per week. And we have like a huge traffic of users. We have 15 million authors, and so this is the scale that we have, okay? It's not like a big scale, and it's not a big scale, but also not a small scale. So just to frame what I want to talk to you right now. Okay. Okay, so we started 1.5 years ago, so everything that you saw there, like the products and the tools that it's now integrated in every tools that we have. We started to creating like 1.5 years ago, okay, with a group of 6 people. And the first thing that we started is to frame how we build our products. What are the principles, okay, behind our products and our tools? So we started with a team. We started to create like a work methodology. Before there was only like Jupyter notebooks and people doing research and random things, okay? So we said, okay, let's start with a work methodology that works for the team and always involving the data manager and the end user in the process. It's very, very important in AI. And we started creating building blocks. I said to my boss, can you give me like 3 months? I don't deliver nothing in 3 months. And he said, why? There is nothing, so we have to start to creating some building blocks, some tools, and then we can leverage the architecture a little bit later, okay? And my boss, he's a great guy, and said, okay, I trust you. Let's try to do these kind of things. So we started creating building blocks, okay, with fundamentals, simple template that now make all the process really easy to create products. And the most important thing is that we try to get out of the building, except for these 3 months. So we went to production right away from the day zero with development code, okay? The first thing is to create the infrastructure project to go in production. And then we will go to the back end and everything else. Of course, in AI, this is really like something, the shiny object syndrome. I'm suffering also about this. It's the latest model, and the technology in the market will not save our problem, never, okay? Let's try to create something that works, okay, that is stable. And of course, there are no excuses. If you can't make something, build with what you have. For example, in MDPI, we don't have any cloud, okay? Everything that you saw, it's on premises, with Docker, by the way. And of course, the two important things at the end, it's that it must work for the user, okay? So the project must work, it's mandatory. We have to find a way to make it work. And the why, the research question, it's always the beacon in the night. When you start the project, start asking what you want to solve right now, okay? And you have to be always this question in mind. Okay, this is the architecture that we have built in 1.5 years. I just want to point out some of these things. Don't be scared. I will try to stick together the pieces probably in the tool that you saw during these days in the conference also. So as I said, we started from building blocks. For example, data connector, notify me, Swordfish, Acadex. What are these projects? Those are like Python library that we are using internally to do these kind of things. For example, data connector is a wrapper between PsychoPG, SQL Alchemy, SQL Model, and a lot of different libraries to connect to the database. So we can do like pip install data connector, actually Poetry add the data connector because we are using only Poetry. And we can install all the data layer that we need. So every time in every project, you are sure that you have the data layer ready. Everyone agrees with the query. Everyone knows what's inside. It's very well documented. So we know what is going on with the data. Then we have the project to notify, to send notifications if something bad happened. And of course, the models. The models, we started from Hugging Face, of course. We took some open source model, especially Spectre, and we trained actually, and before we fine-tune, and then we trained from scratch our model. And then we have created 2 libraries based, of course, on PyTorch, ONNX, and a lot of things to launch the model and put the model, to train the model and also put in production for the inference pipeline. Those are the building blocks that we have created. And then we created Tempi. Tempi, it's like a template system. And with this template system, you can do like a cookie cutter, fast API, and you have the backend ready with all the packages that you need. So now I can say we can create a backend for an application in 1 week, basically, okay? 3 months of work for 1 week of backend. You have to judge. Okay, this is basically everything. As you can see here, it's in Python, except for some tools. So nowadays, with Python, you can do everything, okay? From the data pipeline to the backend, to the front end with Streamlit. Probably Streamlit is not the best technology to do front end, okay? You can also have like mkdocs, it's a really good project. I'm backing this project to create like a GitHub pages, documentation, and also blogs, and whatever you want. And basically, this is everything that you need to create something in your company, okay? You don't need something else. You don't need to buy crazy things, okay? Everything here, it's open source. Another concept that we have introduced is the micro-repo approach. So everything here, it's a micro-repo. The front end, it's divided by backend, by infrastructure, so we can go really easy to deploy everything that we need. And everything, of course, is Dockerized. We have GitLab CI/CD pipeline that we're using to go in production, okay? This is basically how we create the tools that I show you later. that I showed you before. Some concept really important. Human evaluation for us, it's really, really, really the most important things because we need to be sure that every model that goes in production is really, really well tested. Documentation first. When we start the project, we go in production, but also we start documenting everything in Confluence, so we know that everything is there. And also, don't forget the maintenance part, okay? It's the tedious part here because you have a lot of packages, you have a lot of models, you have to be sure and control everything. So the maintenance part, actually, it's the most demanding part right now for us. And as you can see, everything here is without any cloud, okay? This is on-premises solution. So you can do also on Contabo if you want. Okay, few things about MLOPS. I don't want to go into the detail. If you want, we can discuss later also. This is like a division of machine learning operations maturity model, okay, made by Microsoft. And actually, right now, we are on the level 3. Those are the tools that we have created. And to go from level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3, the effort is really, really, really high, okay? So it's good to have like MLOps, but probably let's start with the level 0 and level 1 to start having like a DevOps pipeline, some automated training, and then goes later on to MLOps. We know that there are platforms that put everything together for you. It's really convenient also. But we want to start and learn what we have, what is behind here. So we start like creating everything from scratch from our own. And I have to say that the effort here is really high. Okay, it's where we put the most effort of our time. Okay, you can try also these kind of things like the template system, the packages, some of the packages, some of the concept like the customized Airflow version, how poetry configuration, Black, Bandit, all these kind of tools. It's here. It's available in GitHub in our Python Biella group. Okay, there is this project called Beer that if you want you can try it. So what I'm trying to do is also giving to the open source what we are taking from open source. So we are making some projects, open some PR, trying to fix some projects. We have a good discussion with ML server, actually. And also, personally, I'm here in Python Biella group, and we try also to move something also to Python Biella group and to GitHub, so you can try also. You can see what we are doing. We are trying also to create some packages also from MDPI, but it's really complicated sometimes, dialogue with the people and publish the code, okay? Okay, few things, what's happening right now? This is a slide of October 22. I was talking about generation of content, okay, made by AI. So this is the image, the first image that won like AI content. This is Copilot, everyone knows. And at the end, this guy came out, and it's a mess, okay? Especially for us, because we are a publisher, a scientific publisher. And now a lot of people start generating research and comments, so it's really complicated. And we are trying to create and develop some tools to identify if a paper is generated or part of the paper is generated or not. Okay, so you can imagine the complexity. And we are changing the architecture. So nowadays we are in a world where this small piece, okay, that I showed you before, the ML code that was there, now it's becoming a real architecture, really complex. There are new tools coming out, probably vector search DB, you know that, like Milvus, Quadrant, and something like that. And we are assessing a lot of tools. And I have to say that the community, it's really great. There are good solutions, actually. The Cheshire Cat project, I really suggest you. It's really great. Also, Private GPT, they are speaking about these things. I have to say that the community is really great. We want to also participate to the community, giving back something. But we are discussing internally very much about these topics here. And also we are trying to create also some Neo4j knowledge graph to add some knowledge engineering inside the models. So this is what's happening right now in the publishing, okay, in the research. It's really a mess, okay? And it's really a war between publishers, but also between AI tools in general. And sometimes it's great, sometimes it's like a little bit complicated. Okay, that's it. What we are taking at home, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of things behind, okay? Yes, we can. I have to say that, yes, we can create something by our own. Couple of points that, like as a takeaway, democratization, artificial intelligence, now it's really accessible to everyone. You can launch something in your laptop, also big complex model, probably you need a GPU. Not only big tech, but everyone now can create like a custom solutions. And of course, we don't need a bigger bot. But first start with the right philosophy of the work. It's a never-ending learning. We need the right methodology and the work philosophy from the beginning, because instead it's a mess. Templates and building blocks really work for us, and it's really working now. It's really important for us to scale and to control the stack, especially now we are moving to Kubernetes, okay? And don't forget the human evaluation and the testing phase, and also, of course, to follow the users. We have a constant dialogue with the users. We are receiving a lot of input from the users to improve our models and our system. It's really important because we really need to work with the adoption of the tool. Without adoption, AI is really complicated. Giving to the people AI tools change their life, okay? The way of working and stuff like that. We are putting a lot of effort to try to help the users and the people to adopt the tools, and this is a lot of work that we are doing here. Of course, we need to find our reasonable scale, and as I said, AI world is really crazy right now. It's a very fast world. It's easy to be lost. So fortunately, there are communities, people that you can follow, and there's a lot of materials. It's really complicated. And of course, we are data people, so please build something that works for real, okay? It's a great something for everyone. Okay, thank you so much. Those are the people that are helping me every day. Without them, I'm lost, okay? The Python Dialogue Group community, MDPI, so thanks also to them, because without them, I'm not here, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So we have... Thank you.
Thank you.
That was very insightful. We have a couple of questions here. So the first one, what has been the hardest parts in your platform to manage? Though there are lots of components for such a small team.
Okay, yeah, we have like, I was counting like 2 days ago, we have like 67 repositories on our GitHub for six people, so it's crazy. So the most complicated part, I have to say, it's the MLOPS part now on the AI things, because it's really complicated to manage and to operationalize to arrive at a good level of MLOPS. And I have to say also that the most complicated part was taking all the knowledge of the data that was there behind, organizing and creating the data pipeline. Those are the two most, I would say, complicated things that we have faced in the past. Especially data pipeline, it's a mess. But because of the data, that was before.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
The next question. Looking back, what would you have done differently?
Oh, okay. So probably really differently. Okay, poetry, it's a mess. Poetry is a mess, especially now with the release that they are like coming out every basically months. Now we are in 1.5, yes. So it's really complicated to manage poetry. Probably using PDM it's better. I don't know. I have to say that we have lost a lot of times sometimes to deal with the server. Being on premise is good because you know what is going on downstairs. It's really good. You can control the bits, okay? You can control the machine, but sometimes it's really painful. So going in cloud, of course, you spend more money because I have to say that it's really most expensive, especially for the data, flowing back and forth. But it's really, I would say, sometimes it's really painful to deal with the networks and stuff like that. So probably having a cloud architecture can help really a lot to speed up the process. Instead, 1.5 years, probably it's only half of the year or 1 year, I don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So you mentioned the on-premise, so I would ask a question here that's related to that. Maybe you would add up. So why on-premise?
Okay. It was a choice that I've done in the past, okay? And also because 70% of the company, it's a Chinese company. We are working a lot with Chinese word. And especially there is this tendency also to create everything by our own, okay, from scratch. And also, I have to say that right now, we have done some assessment to the cloud. And going to the cloud now, it's really costing a lot of money. It will cost a lot of money because we have a lot of data, and migrating the data back and forth for the model and stuff like that, it will become like a mess. So yes, like a company-wise choice, but also like cultural choice. And of course, as I said before, you have to build with what you have. So if there is on-premises things, you have to build with on-premises things, okay? This is what it is.
Okay, so the next question. How did you model your data in the DWH? Did you have a specific methodology in place? Can you elaborate on that?
Okay, probably we need another meetup for this answer. Just very quickly, we have modified Airflow to create a template system with YAML and SQL only, without writing any Python code. So we can easily create like a data pipeline writing only the YAML code, okay? Because all the functions that are there, it's all the functions that you need for the data processing, it's in data connector, so it's in our package. And we can really model like ingestion pipeline and transformation pipeline really easily. For the schema, it's something that we are still working on. Especially because Postgres probably is not the best solution to create something really big. For now, we are just creating something like a data warehouse only for what we need. So it's not like a full data warehouse. It's like I would say, a big bucket, table bucket, where we have all the data and information that we have. I don't know, feature store, call whatever you want. It's a database where we are sticking all the data pre-processed, but also some raw data that we are integrating and putting there. So it's something like that, okay? Because we have two big collection of the data also behind, so we didn't start from scratch, okay?
Okay, great. So we have like 2 more minutes for questions.
Yes.
I see you use both FAISS and MLOPS as vector databases.
Yes.
Could you explain a bit the differences and the use cases?
Yes, okay. Wow, that's another long question. Okay, so we started with FAISS, basically, because the methodology to navigate basically the graph and to extract the knowledge there so to indexing the data was more advanced in the past, okay? So FAISS was really the best technology when we started looking at these kind of things. In the meantime, MLOPS, also now Quadrant, came up, but we were sticking to FAISS basically. It was great, I have to say. It's really complicated to manage like artifacts, like at the end it's a file, okay? So you have to move it around to the machines, you have to deploy by yourself and stuff like that. Having a vector search engine is more convenient. Also, I know that MLOPS integrated a lot of methodologies to extract informations also using the FAISS methodology. So also in MLOPS you can have like a sort of FAISS. So we are, as I said, we're starting to migrating to some modern stack with MLOPS. MLOPS is one of the choices, but of course we are still assessing. Now it's not fully part of the pipeline. Okay, we are working on it.
Okay, I think maybe this will be the last question.
Yes.
How big was the team that built this?
Okay, we started. Andrea, how big is the team? Like 5 people. We started with 4 people. Yeah. 4 people. We started, yes, 1 year and a half ago. Yeah, we started with 4 people, actually 3 people and 50%, and we have built like almost all the pipeline there. But for the MLOPS part and the new projects that are coming out now, we are 6 we are recruiting 2 new people. They're coming, I think, next month. And also, we have, if you are interested, also reach me if you want to work on these kind of things. But yes, now the team is like 6 people working on that. We have also a team in Wuhan, in China, that are working, 3 guys that are working on different projects, most related to image processing. But yes, it's a small team at the end. Okay, I would say 10 maximum working on this kind of project.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrea.